Hey everybody, this is Tony George. Kind of a late in the morning update here. It's been an insane 24 hours, as you all know. We have a triple header today at DocSports.com, 2 money line wagers, and we have a 6-unit top play in our early game that goes off at noon Eastern. So the opportunity to jump over there, if you're not checking the site every day, probably is going to miss you by the time you see this. But you're here for free picks, right? So we're going to give you an official free play and 3 leans, 3 games that we liked. First of all, the NBA has been suspended due to the coronavirus. I understand why they did it. I understand it's a serious virus going around. I also understand there's a lot of overreaction. That being said, you had a player in the NBA with the virus playing other teams, and that is a major ordeal. So they have suspended the NBA season. They haven't completely canceled it, but they suspended it. Probably looking at mid-May, they may restart it. Let's see what happens with this quote-unquote pandemic that's running around. You switch gears to the NCAA tournament. No fans anywhere watching games. Family and media only. Coaching staff and their families. That adds a different dynamic to this. The one thing I tell you when we put out our card today, we looked at coaching. You know, if you've ever been to a conference tournament, and look, I was just at 2 of them here in Las Vegas. The Mountain West Conference tournament down at Thomas and Mack, and I went to 2 days worth of games over at the Orleans at the West Coast Conference in the Orleans Arena. There were some hand sanitizers sitting around, but there were people in hazmat suits and people in masks walking around everywhere. It was business as usual in Las Vegas. That being said, I've been to the Big 12 tournament 12 years in a row, lived in Kansas City 12 years, go to tournaments out here. There is a dynamic involved with the crowd, especially, you know, they like to get behind underdogs. They like to see David knock off Goliath. So a lot when an underdog has a lot of momentum against a big giant, the crowd tends to get behind them and boo the team they want, you know, like the Gonzagas of the world, the Dukes of the world, the people, the detractors. Those are the teams that you love to hate. You know, so those teams gaining momentum and keeping momentum with the crowd behind them adds adrenaline, and that dynamic's been taken away. So the one thing you need to handicap here is coaching. These guys is pretty much like a scrimmage. Really is. And I think in that case, the numbers and stats don't lie. You know, you're not handicapping a game, you're handicapping numbers. That's it. So that's the way we're going to look at it moving forward. I think it's going to be very interesting how these kids react, maybe thinking that March Madness is not going to happen, the NIT is not going to happen, the CBI has already canceled that tournament. I do not know if March Madness and the NIT are going to follow suit. I think most of these schools will get through, you know, Sunday and see what happens. You know, playing with no fans in the stands. Your guess is as good as mine. I'm not on the committee. I'm not part of the NCAA staff. I'm definitely not a biological expert or disease expert. So I don't know what's going to happen. You know, you listen to one channel, they tell you one thing. You listen to another channel, they tell you another thing when it comes to the news. As you know, there's a great political divide here in this country, and sometimes getting the truth or the facts are very difficult. You know, there's one side, there's the other side, and there's usually the truth. It's kind of like an argument with your wife, you know. So, or girlfriend. That being said, we're moving forward. We're handicapping these games, and we're going to get going. NHL doubleheader tonight. 6-unit card. 3-pack of college basketball. It's already went off. We'll have picks up every day till they tell us they're not going to play any more games. And we're going to be working very hard at it. A lot of small conference concentration here in these tournaments. There's going to be some interesting results today. Let's see how these kids react and go from there. Okay? Here's the games that we passed on. Your official free. I'm going to put these in short form, let you get going. Here's the teams in short form. The official free play that we almost put on our card, Nichols State -2.5 over LaMar. That's your official free play. The other ones that we looked at, these are very small leans. I think we gave you 3 plays yesterday and they went 2-1. These are small leans. Grade me on the official free play. I kind of like Tennessee +1 against Alabama. I like UC Santa Barbara -3.5 over UC Riverside. And I like Clemson +6.5 against Florida State. This was at 7.5. Clemson playing some sneaky good ball down the stretch, and I'm not sold on Florida State's coaching. I think that's closer than the experts think. Those are your free picks. Get over to Docs. We give you a free $60. Get yourself hooked up with your NHL, your college basketball, XFL, and NASCAR coming at you this weekend. Have a great Thursday. Stay safe. Wash your hands. Have a good one.